You guys should be able to hear me now. Hello? Yeah, this is good. Per usual, I'm drawing live on my YouTube. So if you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel. My computer's been acting real funny, so I've been like straying away from doing too many live videos. I'm going to set up my live so I can actually see what you guys are saying down here in my chat. Okay, good. Let me fix this. Thanks, Brazil. Appreciate that. If you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube. You can watch my YouTube live, see what I'm drawing there. Got any questions, you can ask me questions here. Really open to, answering questions for the most part. Questions about art, at least. Excuse me. I will be periodically showing my screen here on Instagram of what I'm actually drawing. But first, I like to get a little bit of it started. I normally wear like a little lanyard here that I face down on my screen so you guys can see what I'm drawing. If you want to see what I'm drawing, go to my YouTube channel to see what I'm drawing live. I will post it, not post it, but I will show my screen on Instagram once I develop a little bit more of a drawing here. Maybe when I start adding clothes or something like that. Right now, if you've been on my stream before, you've seen me drawing before, I like to do the underdrawing like a full skeleton first. So just trying to work this drawing out because it's mad uneven right now. Man. I might just have to move the body over entirely. J Rafts, what's up? Do you have any tips on character designing? I really struggle on making one-dimensional cliche personalities. I mean, well, I think personally, in order to be a good character designer, you have to also be a consumer as well as, you know, a producer, right? So, you know, you have to watch more stuff. You have to read more things. If you're a person who doesn't have the time to read per se, then, you know, listen to audiobooks. I listen to a lot of YouTube while I'm at work, and but I listen to a bunch of shit, you know. More recently, I just got into Zoroastrianism, right? So Zoroastrianism, yo, thanks Leo about the inspiring drawings and stuff like that. Zoroastrianism is basically like one of the oldest predated, like, kind of monotheistic, dualistic religions. It's inspired some of the Abrahamic religions as well. And yeah, it was created by a dude named Zoroaster 3,500 years ago. and the main symbolism around their religion is fire, right? Um, but I listen to a lot of different stuff. I consume a lot of things, and what it does is it forces me, not forces me, but it ups my creativity. It gives me more to draw about. It gives me more to kind of draw. I've also been listening to um, theology essays online. Just whether it's about Christianity or other religions and stuff like that, and that really helps me boost my creativity. That's one. I think characters having a particular backstory really helps you flesh out your character designs. And then as far as the actual physical stuff, it's very similar. The more you consume of other things and the more research you do, the better of an understanding you will get at kind of doing different, character designs and stuff. Another thing I like to do is I like to do combinations of things. So I like to do stuff like, combining, Moorish outfits, right? So things from the Moors with modern day items, looking up, type of clothing that I like to wear and also like to see, and then I combine that with stuff, So it's really about just consuming and, really working to build your visual library. Building a visual library is very important, man. Um, like you can't really make new things unless you're, seeing stuff and using the world to help you come up with new things. If you're watching my live stream right now, you're watching me draw, you see me kind of wrapping my character a little bit because I'm trying to get a better understanding of his 3D form. The direction in which the legs are going, the direction in which I want the arms to kind of go, and how that is going to connect, to the body. Wrapping is really good, man, because it makes your items, it gives them more of a 3D plane, but it'll help you when you're developing folds and stuff like that for clothing, because then you'll start to follow your folds and wrap your folds around the wrapping of your particular character. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to throw him in a folder, and instead of throwing clothes on him, I'm going to move on to the next character and try to build him out a little bit more. When your drawing will become, when will your drawings become an anime? When I don't know, when the studio decides to pick up my work. You know what I mean? Could be a while. So I also, there's people who've been dedicating their whole lives working on their fundamentals and shit. And I need to go back and start doing a lot more of the fundamentals and the basics of drawing. I need to go back and start really learning how to draw better. And I think what that will do is that will, allow people in the industry to respect my art more. Because right now, like, I appreciate everybody that follows me and stuff, but I'm not a very good artist, really. So, in comparison to, artists in the industry who are, fucking utterly amazing, like, Saint Chase, LaShawn Thomas, Jorge Jimenez, like Phil Borsura, a lot of people. Nicholas Draper Ivy, Metallica Lex Nova, Ozo Stachio, whatever. One of my favorite mangakas. I have them for different reasons. Like, one of my all-time favorite mangakas is Yoshihiro Togashi, but not really for his artwork, but more for his storytelling. Another one is Obata. He does what's that fucking one about mangas? He's done a bunch of shit, but I love his art style. Um, Kishimoto, Tito Kube, you know, for their kind of art style and stuff like that. Um, you know, I'm really loving uh, Jesus Christ, what is it? Promise Neverland is really good. Vocal Hero's artwork is very good too. I also love Yusuke Murata. His artwork, he does Eye Shield 2020, but he also does One Punch Man, which a lot of people know. You know, his work is just phenomenal and fucking unrivaled. Um, yeah, I mean, who else do I like? There's a dude who does. His name's Yoshida, and I can't remember his last name, and I cannot remember the name of the manga that he does, but it's about like, you know, ghosts that are like inhabiting clothing and stuff like that. I can't remember it exactly, but the one thing he does is he does like a lot of the kind of fan servicey, etchy shit, and that's really not like my thing. You know what I mean? I don't. I feel like that takes me out of the story a little bit. Um, you know, because I don't know. It's. I don't have a problem with it. It's just like not my thing. You know what I mean? I also think like anime already gets like this very weird name. So like when you're doing stuff that's very like, you know, you have like a really great manga and then you mix in like the sexuality part of it. Um, I don't know. I don't really see the point in it. You know, I like a lot of shonen for that reason. You know, it's fine if you hint toward it. It's fine if it plays a point in the story, but you know, if it doesn't, then it's kind of just like there for no reason. What did I think of Tohiko Inoue? Who is Tohiko Supreme? Who is Tohiko Inoue? I don't know his work. Um, J Raps is commenting on my YouTube. He's saying that when I'm just making initial sketch set to set the form, positioning, and composition, I tend to get ahead of myself and start adding smaller details that bite me in the long run. Do I have advice for keeping within the steps and not spending time on details that aren't necessary on a sketch? Yeah, so like for me, because I'm still trying to get better at drawing in general, I tend to almost every time I draw a character, doesn't matter if I've drawn that character 100 times. For example, I'll use Iku from like one of my original characters from Iku the Keeper. You know, I've drawn his anatomy underneath the clothing almost every time, you know, I've drawn. And I think for me, it helps me stick to those. What's up? Patted is shonen. Yeah, what it does is it helps me stick to that particular routine, and then I draw the clothes, and then I go into the other details and stuff like that. So, you know, that takes a little bit of discipline. You know, it actually took me some time to get used to, you know, stepping back a little bit. It's even harder when you're drawing digitally because you can zoom in on your drawing far more than if you're drawing traditionally. So you get lost in the sauce very fucking quickly, I find, when I'm drawing digitally. So one of the things I started doing to take me out of that is what I started doing was Strawberry Man, what's up? What I started doing was using a really big brush. So if you're watching my live stream, JRAFs, which you are, you saw me using like this brush that I'm using right now to, you know, create the anatomy for this character is a pretty big brush. It's a size 20. When I start inking, I ink at about a 5 point, you know, at 300 DPI. So what you'll have is, you know, when you use a bigger brush, it forces you not to focus so much on details. You know what I mean? And then I try to focus on details that will matter, right? Where the clothes will touch and stuff like that. So I'll focus more on like shoulder placement, maybe the triceps, depending on the clothes, how it will touch. And then I also use this as an opportunity to improve my anatomy skills too. So every time you draw, or at least when I draw, I focus on getting better at things that I'm really, really weak at. Thanks, Keaton C. Willie. That's my older brother, Justin. Yeah, so, those are my steps. JRAF is what I would consider, you know, um, drawing big first, using a big brush, using a big pencil. If you're drawing traditionally, what you want to do is you want to move very quickly. Like just start laying down lines very quickly. When I draw traditionally, and sometimes I post it, you'll see like a lot of little lines around it because what I'll do is I'll just move very quickly. I'll just be trying to get the form, the shape. I'm a way better traditional artist than I am a digital artist. I just do digital because it challenges me, and I know it's the future. I want to get better at it. Yeah, so those techniques work for me. It might not work for you, but you can just try them and see if something sticks from that. There's so much I need to practice on, man. There's so much I need to get better at. It's fucking hard to just kind of focus on, everything. I'm looking at this head and I'm like, this is not a very good head. It's not a very good head drawing. And I need to improve kind of what is it called? The mutton or the jawline. I need to get better at the jawline, understanding where I want to kind of nose and lips and stuff like that. I need to start drawing more realistic black people so I get a better understanding of, our features when drawing, because there's not a lot of examples of people who draw black characters, so there's not much I can really reference. And I've exhausted some of my main references, like Mikhail Dingle, which is aka Metallica Nova, or what the fuck is his name? Nicholas Draper Ivy. Good resources for me for drawing black people, but I don't use their references directly, and I probably should, because it will definitely help me grow. Like I'm drawing this nose and mouth over several times, and I really should just kind of move past it. And then when I get into those details, I'll start narrowing it down. But let me just get something here. And I'll drop a color background behind the front character, get a better understanding of him. Hey, if you want to give my support, Oi Pen, I can't even say your name, man. Panda Daisu. Just give me a shout out, man. That really helps my work grow. It really helps my audience and stuff like that. I mean, I don't have things that people can really buy, unless they want like a commission or something like that. So, if you're interested in showing me any support, anybody on this stream, share my work, man. Share it on Facebook, share it in a Facebook group. Make sure to share my profile, so that way, I can get the followers necessary to, push the industry and letting me get my own show, right? You guys want a show with black characters and, African lore and themes and stuff like that. That's going to be the best way for me to gain that stuff, is with you guys' audience help. I'm going to show what I've been working on, so if you guys hold on a little bit, Always been, buddy. Hope we'll go big. Thank you. Panda Daisu. You know I will. Oi, Panda Daisu. Thank you, man, for spelling your name out. If you want to see what I'm drawing, you can go to my YouTube channel. See what I'm drawing live. What I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about bringing back my artist critique videos, where I just critique people's artwork and I actually draw over it or will redraw it, and to just see how I would approach those illustration problems that people are having, you know. And I always put a disclaimer, like obviously, I'm only so good of an artist, right? Like I'm not even, you know, I don't work for a major company or anything like that, and I'm not really in the field per se. So, you know, it's not like my artwork is the best or anything. So I just try my best to, you know, give a better standing or understanding of, you know, of how I've been able to grow, especially while using digital, which in my opinion, in some cases is harder than traditional. Thanks, Oya, I appreciate that. I feel like I could have done her better, but I don't draw enough girls, and I need to. I need to practice more women. I need to practice drawing more women. You know, get my skills up. All right, so I'll show you a little bit of what I'm working on right now. For all those who are not on my YouTube channel watching me draw, this is what I've been putting together. So those gray lines that you see in the background are the really thick, heavy lines that I told J-Rap I was laying down first. Then I erase those, and then I draw on them with a little bit of a finer line. Still a really, really fat brush. Love the art, Atmo. Thank you. Really, really, really still big. Like if you look at my brush, right? Look how big that is. It's a big brush. Considering I ink, if it's a 20, I ink at a 8, or between 5 and 8. So, you know, that's another 12 points larger. And I'll show you actually what the roughs look like. I have another character that I drew very roughly. So it'll be like this. I want to get the general motion, the layouts, you know, and then I'll go back and I'll refine this. I'll refine his gesture. I'll refine his anatomy. I'll refine his stance and weight within his stance. You know, by doing something that's a little bit more fine like this. I'm not focusing on details of the lips, nose, eyes, or ears. I'll go back in and check those and change those when necessary. So if you want to see what I'm drawing, you can just go to my YouTube channel. For all the new people, I'm drawing live there. You see a lot more of me fleshing out the work. You know, how I kind of wrap my characters to get more better 3D forms. How I focus on a lot of stuff, you know. And you get into this thing. Thanks, Oi. You only You only doing live? Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking about bringing back, like I said earlier, my character critique videos, where I allow people to basically submit artwork, and I'll just, kind of, I'll critique it, but I'll also just like, some constructive criticism, talk about ways I would approach that person's kind of, art problems that they may be having, and how I would approach them at my current skill level, and also using techniques I use to help myself grow. Man, I won't be able to watch later then. Oh, I'm not doing it after this. I'm doing it later. Like, this is late where I am. It's fucking 1 a.m. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna be doing it tonight, but I mean later in the future. It's also really hard for me to like draw this late and keep my composure, and be talking simultaneously. It's too hard for me. Right after I get off this, I'm probably gonna go to sleep because I'm fucking tired, and lives just, they take a lot out of you, a lot out of me at least when I'm doing them, because I'm constantly looking around. I'm generally smoking hookah too, which relaxes me. I should go to sleep, but I probably won't until I make some decent headway on my artwork. The blessing and the curse of it. Now, I'm not sure. You know what? I was gonna say, I'm not sure if the the left or right arm is longer or too short, and I backed up and I was like, yeah, that right arm is just far too short. I'm gonna pull it down a little bit. That's fine right there. I'm gonna pull it down where the bicep and elbow is. Give him a little bit more shoulder. But for J-Raf, who was watching me earlier, that's how I'm moving. I'm moving pretty quickly. I'm trying to get the general shape. So the image I just showed you that was very loose, this is what it comes out to, right? So this is what I'm going from that, and you can see that I've drawn the character's anatomy outside of my original kind of really big drawing that I did with a really fat brush, right? And I still keep the brush, like I said, really fat. I'm just trying to get the gesture, I'm just trying to get the anatomy straight and everything else. I personally, because like I said before, I'm not that good of an artist, and I'm still trying to grow and get better, I almost do this for every drawing. You know what I mean? I draw the anatomy for every drawing I draw. So that girl, the guy I drew earlier, I draw his chest, deltoid, traps if they're there, whatever. It helps me with drapery and understanding. The better I get, the faster I'll cut past that stuff, But I have so much practice I need to do. I have so much mileage I need to build to even get to that point, But I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of all the work I need to put in to get there. It's the badge of honor I'm trying to build, Sorry if my hand's directly in front of the screen. And so now, like, I like this guy. I like a little bit of his gesture. I could hunch him over more. I could change his pelvic neutral a little bit more and rock it forward, which I will do. I'll rock it just slightly forward a little bit more. I could spread his legs out or close them, and that's going to talk about, that will speak to his, thanks Jay, that will speak to his, it'll speak to his character a little bit, how closed off and reserved he may be, by tightening or loosening or hunching him over a little bit. You know, he's wielding 2 daggers. He's gonna have a hood on. He's more of an assassin-based character, and so this is what all 3 of them will look like. When together. All right, so I'm coming up across that 35-40 minute mark for Instagram, and I'm gonna hop off. I appreciate everybody who's been following me. I appreciate all you guys who've supported me and stuff like that. If you like the work, you know, follow the channel. If you like the work even more, please give me a shout out on your page or Facebook, or, you know, a really good one is Reddit. You know, Reddit really helps profiles grow. That would be really awesome. So thank you guys again. Really appreciate the support. You guys have a good night. Peace. And for all the people who are still on my YouTube, thank you guys so much who are still here. Appreciate you guys joining in. Appreciate you guys sending your messages and stuff like that. Always, the support is always welcome. It's always thanked and appreciated to the nth degree. So thank you guys a ton. Peace.